some special things for you tonight. Certainly a side of me that I haven't shown around here in a long time. So. But here's a side that I have shown, and it's kind of the roots of all of this stuff. And it's an old holler from Georgia that I'm going to start off with. Man. Oh, city woman, don't marry that necktie man. Because if I can't keep you happy, there's two other fellas in the band. Darling, at the Salvation Army today. the necktie don't, the banjo, what you got there. I got my washboard scratcher gonna saturate the lingerie. And then up comes Matt, blowing on the old top bass. Woo! All right, good evening, everyone. Eric, could I start with getting a little bit more of my voice back to me in the monitor? Just actually a substantial amount, if you wouldn't mind. Say hello. So how is it? Can you hear okay? You can hear all right? It's hard for us to be to turn down, but we've got all these old instruments, and well, mine doesn't have many volume controls. It's really loud and then not on really, but. Anyway, that was an old a song. I love ragtime music, and I love the Dixieland kind of style. And actually, I'm gonna pick up one that's Scott Joplin inspired, if I can. So I'm gonna put this guitar down for a second. I've been coming around to St. Louis for 20 years, even though I just moved here in the big picture. But even before I moved here, I loved St. Louis, and I was, of course, especially influenced by Scott Joplin. So I would go to his house in old residence on Del Mar, and I think that's where the museum is. Is it there? And around, gosh, sometime in the early 2000s. I was playing with Richie Havens, and this was one of the first songs that I wrote, and I was really inspired. Richie had played here in St. Louis, and I just kind of was listening to Scott Joplin a lot, and I wrote this on the road in London when I was had a couple of days off with Richie, and we were up around Camden. And for a year, I called this the London Rag. It has a ragtime Dixieland vibe to it. And it just wasn't the right name. It was just only written over there or finished. And then I got back to my truck in Northeast Georgia, and I noticed that the oil light came on, and I had reached under the driver's side for that red rag. And then I realized I had a name for this song, and I called it the Dipstick Rag. So. Dipstick Rag, thank you. Can you hear everything out all right? A little bit more what? Vocal? Less big.
And why did you take the knobs off of your guitar?
We took him off so he wouldn't mess with it.
And never less space.
I played in Germany recently and a couple of months ago, and these guitars just bothered the Germans so much. First of all, before I even played, I had all three of these out, and they're basically the same thing. I have three different ones because I use different tunings, but they were just taking pictures of these guitars, just as if it was Ripley's Believe It or Not or something like that. And the poor Germans were looking at this, and I know half the room is of German ancestry, but I think you'll find this funny. They were saying to me, when I finally came out, it's like, the guitar will not work. You need to fill these holes. There are knobs missing. It will not play right. And you have stuffing in the guitar. It will not sound correct. This needs to be removed. And it was fantastic. But what I was trying to explain to them is like, this is all intentional. This is not something that happened when I traveled over here and the inspectors did this or something. But I will say, with all this is 100% cotton that's stuffed in here, and it does present a problem going through security, traveling overseas. One of these things I had to completely pull all the cotton out, and they understood what I was doing after we did this. But anyway, one of the things I love about playing in St. Louis is that y'all just, love the blues, And so we're going to bring up our good buddy Papa Ray here to sit in with us on this one. Anyway, Papa Ray does the Soul Selector show every Monday afternoon on KDHX. Yeah, hey! Now, I want to say one thing before we get started here, and it's not just the connection that we have to the blues or because of the blues, and actually that's a minor connection for us because my wife Margot and I were out listening to my good buddy J.J. Gray play in Chesterfield last year. And we were on the bus hanging out after the show, and here's Tom chatting with JJ, and JJ says to me, he's from the same county and the same town that we both are. So we both originally are from the Jacksonville, Florida area, and we don't like to tell anybody about that though. But no, I love Jacksonville. I still go back there, and that's where a lot of this music came from. But just by virtue of traveling around the world, we don't make a big thing out of it. But that's our lasting, deepest connection. And so, welcome, Tom.
And JJ used to install air conditioners in double wide trailers about 4 miles from where my parents live, so we bonded.
Here's one that we put on this first Swamp Cabbage record. It's called "If You're Gonna Stay Out All Night, You're Gonna Keep the Lid On Tight." neighborhood, but she's dressing like she's going to Hollywood. Oh yeah. I guess I should say, oh no. If you shake it all night, keep the lid on tight. All right. I got suspicious by the smell of her hair. How did old Spice in them winter there? Oh yeah. If you shake it all night, keep the lid on tight. All right. Just like that mason jar at grandma's house. If you wanna keep your jelly fresh, you gotta keep the fungus out. If you shake it all night, keep the lid on tight. All right. If you shake it all night, keep the lid on tight. All right. If you shake it all night, keep the lid on tight. Come on!
Give it up for the band.
Thank you very much, Papa Ray. We're going to take you back to the swamp now. I during the COVID, so many things happened to all of us in the COVID. Matt, can I? You already did. Well, I bet a lot of us did life-changing things, but not many of us did what this gentleman did on the far right-hand side of the stage. This guy, just for the entertainment of it, just to change things up, he got a heart transplant. So, and he's here to to prove that it was worthwhile. Was it? Did you do it just for the fun of it? Or,
I was bored.
You were stuck at home and bored.
I'd watched all the TV shows I could watch.
Well, let me back up a little bit. A couple of months ago, Matt gave me a call from a club in New Haven, Connecticut, called Cafe 9, and Matt's been living in New York City. A brother, he's a southern brother of mine, though. He grew up in Atlanta. I grew up in Jacksonville, Florida. And he said, I'm in New Haven, Connecticut. I'm playing in a place called Cafe 9 or something like that. He just said, we played there 20 years ago. It's the same sound man, the same club owner, and they said that we were one of the best bands they've ever had. And it just kind of gave me this nostalgic rush, And I said, Matt, you wanna play again? We hadn't played in 15 years or so. And I said, no, that's not gonna work. How are you? And he said, yeah, I'm up for it, and I just wouldn't hear it. And I wouldn't hear it at all. And he said, Walter, why are you so reluctant? I said, Matt, it's your health. I'm worried about your health. I said, I don't think you're gonna. I said, if you really want to commit to this, I'm gonna book us all over the place. I said, let's do a couple of gigs, St. Louis and Kansas City, and see how it goes. And I said, but I don't think you're gonna be able to make it. And he said, Walter, how old are you? I said, I'm 64 years old. I said, what the hell's that got to do with anything? He goes, well, it's got to do with this, because, and this is what Matt said. He said, I've got a 35-year-old heart in my chest, so mind your own farm. And what I did during the COVID, can I tell him what, well, I'll tell him what this guy's got it's seemingly impossible to beat a heart transplant, but what this guy did during the, but I'll tell you about that in a little while. But what I did is I started kind of looking back into what made me play with the sound that I play with. And I remember camping out in the Okefenokee so much when I was a kid. So I started doing some research. It's a swamp in southeast Georgia. And this is one of the songs that I found in some archives in the Library of Congress. I won't say much more about it other than that this is a banjo song, and it's a real tricky song. It comes from the Scottish influence out there, old homesteaders, and this is one called Catfish. We hope you take pleasure in this. Catfish going upstream, out with the butter, give it a green. Caught that catfish by the spine, and I turned that catfish inside of my beak. Banjo Sam, oh, me, Banjo Sam, come on. Got a card and tell you where to go, way to country, way below. When you get there, the folks ain't home, and the girls out there to the hair ain't gonna mind me. Banjo Sam, come on. Oh, Banjo Sam.
sitting on a hickory limb. He looked at me and I at him. Picked up a rock and I hit him on the shin, and he said, by God, don't do that again, Bobby. Woo! Banjo sound. Bobby. Banjo sound. Come on. Here's another North Florida bluesy swamp influence tune. I love playing this next one. This is on our, what, Matt, was this on Jive? I think it was.
Which song?
I think this is on our latest CD. I've lost track. Oh yeah, I love playing this one. I wrote this on my own 1929 banjo. Can y'all hear did you hear the banjo vibe in that last tune? I just love, a lot of people ask me, what guitar players do you listen to? And I don't really listen to guitar players. I either listen to banjo players or piano players or organ players, that kind of thing. And this is an example of one that I wrote on my own 1929 tenor. It's called Sugar House. I'm clapping because I love some of the things that he did in this. A big hand for Jagoda on the drums. I was afraid I'd never see him again, Jagoda, during the COVID. I called him and I said, so what's been going on? Where are you and everything? And you know, we lost touch over the years. And he said, well, I moved from New York. Now, he was born and raised in New York, and it's very rare for a New Yorker to just leave that area. You know, it's a loyalty thing. And New York is not just a town, it's a way of life, you know. And I lived there for years, and you just get used to it, and it's hard to live anywhere else. But we've all kind of grown out of New York in a certain way. And Matt's still there, but it's pulverizing him.
I got out, and then I had to go back.
Yeah. And anyway, Jagoda, I said, Jagoda, where are you? He says, I'm in Utah. I said, Utah? You moved to Utah? And Jagoda has had a long-standing belle. He's loved a woman for years in Utah, and they finally got together during the COVID, and I've been urging him to go out there and do it. Not that he took my advice at all. I think the lure of just her curvature and so on lured her out there. But anyway, but I said, you gigging? I asked him, who you been playing with? He says, yeah, I'm gigging. He said, I got a cool gig, and I said, well, what you doing? And I just figured he'd be playing listening rooms like this, or clubs, coffee houses, or maybe some of the theaters, and so on. He says, I'm playing at the roller derby. Well, I said, the roller derby, that sounds cool. I mean, how's the band? He said, I am the band. I said, how does that work? And he says, you know, when they have those collisions, when they're going around the curves, he says, I just embellish them, you know. So, and that, getting back to the beginning of my story here, is why I thought I would never hear from him again. Because any musician who has as their gig playing for the roller derby will not be seen again, because that's the world's greatest gig. How did you agree to this?
Because he was kind of...
Anyway, big hand once again, Jagoda on the drum set. Well, we're still on that rootsy kind of fiddle music thing. And while I still have this guitar tuned the way I do, we're going to do one. I wrote this as a soundtrack, actually. I wrote it down in the Okefenokee. And I also wrote it, or I finished it, started it down there, and I finished it in a town in Missouri called Annapolis, Missouri. I don't know if y'all know where that is. It's down in southeast Missouri, way out in the woods, near the Black River. Does that make, okay, it's very close to that. I was, what do you call it when you're paid to do something? I was commissioned. I was referring to in the arts. I was commissioned to make it do. What do you call it when you're paid? I got a job. Oh my gosh. Let's see. I was commissioned to do the soundtrack for a movie about sadly, the meth situation down there. It was a very serious and very well done movie called Under the Grove, and it was directed by a young, talented young film director named Nate Townsend, and I did this piece for that movie, and I thought it just was appropriately dark and appropriately Appalachian, but it wasn't quite Appalachian, so I called it Ozarkalachia. So here we go. Evie, I think you're here, right? Is that you there? Evie's a clogger, and so I just you don't come up on this one, but I'm not going to put you on the spot. But for later, see if we're in the right groove for this one. This is a barn burner here, so here we go. Thank you.
Operator, you want to come up and sing with us? Yeah. This will be fun. Take you from the Ozarks to maybe down Georgia way or something, I'm not sure where this one came from. Simple, of course. Yeah.
Hey, let's give it up for the band. How you doing? How you feeling? You know, none of us get out alive in this life. And I got a song that was written by a gentleman here in St. Louis, and they called him St. Louis Jimmy. Now, this is a song that all the blues piano players at one time in St. Louis, and there were a whole lot of them, everybody did this song. And I wanted to do this one tonight for a dear friend of mine that's passed on. I want to do this in the memory of Roland Johnson. Kind of go like this. Well, I've had my fun if I don't get well no more. Well, I've had my fun if I don't get well no more. But lately my health's been failing me. I believe I'm going down slow. Hey, I've had my fun if I don't get well no more. Baby girl, I've had my fun if I don't get well no more. But right now my health is failing me. I believe I'm going down slow. Somebody call my mother. Tell her the shape I'm in. Please call my mother. Tell her the shape I'm in. Tell that church woman to pray for her poor son's sin. Don't call me no doctor, 'cause a doctor won't do me no good. Hey, don't call me no doctor. A doctor can't do me no good. You know why? I've been a bad, bad boy. I didn't do the things I should. Take all my clothes, I think I'm gonna send them on home. I'm gonna take all my clothes, I'm gonna send them on south down home. And mama, when you hear me, why don't you weep and moan? I'm gonna send all my clothes, I gotta go on back home. Hey, I gotta leave St. Louis, I gotta go home. And when you hear I've died, why don't you weep and moan? call me no doctor can do me no good. Don't call no damn doctor, he can't do me no good. I've been a bad, bad boy, I didn't do the things that I should. Tell my mama not to cry, and that's one thing that I pray. Tell my mother don't cry, that's one thing I pray. Just tell people my son, he's gone, gone, gone away. And that's a true story.
Woo! Papa Ray.
KDHX, the Soul Selector Show. Thank you. I guess we're going to play maybe a couple of more songs and take a break. Are we doing a break situation tonight, or are we playing all the way through? What? Yeah. Okay, breaking. Okay, wonderful. All right. This is one we didn't play last night, Phyllis. So let's just do something different. Now, Matt's looking at me like, "What curveball are you gonna throw at me?" I was asked to do another TV soundtrack. It was a theme song for a show that was going to be called White Gold. And white gold is what they call the shrimping business down in Louisiana. And I was living in New York City at the time, and I thought, this is all nice and well and good that I've gotten this. What do you call it when you get paid to do something? A donation, a commission. And so I was living in New York City, and I said, I'm not going to write a song about the shrimping business from New York City. So I drove all the way down to the mouth of the Mississippi River. There's a little town there called Venice. And I wrote this song, and I found so many ironies about what was going on down there. And it was not too long after that big oil spill in that area. So business was down because of the spill, but it was also down because of competition, and all of this is in the song. But a lot of the folks who were working the shrimping business down there are actually from Vietnam. And but the irony of it is that the business was so down at that point because of the Southeast Asia, the shrimping business that was competing. So they had moved all the way over to this part of the world to work in the shrimping business, but their own home area was competing with where they were now working. So that was a second challenge that they had. And I wrote about all this in the song, and I had this nice little title for it, and it passed, and they had meetings in New York, and everything passed. And anyway, they decided at the last minute they were going to change the name of the show. They changed it to Ragin' Cajuns. They thought that had a better ring to it, but LSU sued the hell out of them. So anyway, it never saw the light of the day, and I had a 30-second theme song written, so I thought, well, heck, it's my song now. I'm just going to go ahead and finish the thing. And so we put it on Swamp Cabbage's last record. This is called White Gold. The Mississippi mouth is the horse's too, where the road runs out on your point of view. People tried and grubbed, but they answered questions. They had enough of our preconception. Ain't no rest in the Delta You just can't mess with the shrimpers' will. Good luck tend to get found and lost, but we don't pay what the white gold cost. White gold, she would shine and glisten. White gold, it was a holy mission. White gold, we gave the top position. White gold to the competition. White don't shine like it used to could, 'cause the price don't rise when the yield ain't good. It's a economics, it's a 101, but there's plenty of gold in the Indian Ocean. White gold used to have eyes and tail, but now white gold certified U.S. mail. They can't say for certain till they're reimbursed, but big oil only made a bad thing worse. White gold, she would shine and glisten. White gold, it was a holy mission. White gold, we gave the top position. White gold to the competition. It's a paradox for the Cajun who he's got to share his dock with an Asian crew. He'd take a blindfold test of the bayou catch and pit his gold against the Thailand hatch. So when it comes to business, you got to understand. You can come from Venice or you can come from Vietnam. It makes no difference, we can't deny. They're both good simmer in a jambalaya. White gold, she would shine and glisten. White gold, it was a holy mission. White gold, we gave the top position. White gold to the competition. White gold, white gold, white gold, white gold, white gold. Thank you. I'm kind of proud of that one. That's a folk song of sorts. We played it on an electric guitar, but it's a legit story song, and I'm sort of glad I got to keep that one in a certain way, and that's on the Swamp Cabbage's Jive record, the last one. I learned so much about the blues in American historical music, and we all did actually, from a lot of the British bands. I didn't even know about a lot of the great blues from Mississippi until I heard bands like Cream and Led Zeppelin and The Who and those sorts of things. The Who, I think, they pulled a lot from the hymns, a lot of the church hymns, and you can tell that in Pete Townshend's guitar playing style, especially if you just kind of have studied anything, know a little bit about church organ playing and those big, wonderful voices. pipe organ or something, that would just sound just beautifully horrifying in a way, you know. And that was the whole idea. You've got to respect the sound coming down from the heavens. But, and then we've got country music, and where did it come from? It came from Ireland and Scotland and all of that sort of thing. And so this next medley that we're going to do is kind of a combination of bluegrass music, our version of it in a certain way, a song that I wrote, and we're going to team it up with one that came from the British. And we're going to end this set with this one. So here we go. Come on! We're just three guys up here. And Tom when he's playing with us. All right, we're going to take a short pause. Will you stick around for more? We're going to do another long set in just a bit. So stick around if you can. Pick up a CD and let us know how to get in touch with you for future. Once again, he's leaving the stage already, but Jagoda on the drum set. Ladies and gentlemen, Matt Lindsey on the bass.
Walter Parks.
If you put your hands together, I'm sure Swamp Cabbage will come back on stage.
A little bit of showbiz on the voice, if you wouldn't mind. When I go to my death, no one's on my path. No, it ain't nobody's business but mine. No, it ain't nobody's business but mine. No, it ain't nobody's business but mine. Well, I thought upon my faults, I'm gonna break till I get strong. It ain't nobody's business but mine. Thank you so much. That was one from the Library of Congress collection. It's called Ain't Nobody's Business But Mine, but they only introduced it as one of the old-fashioned songs. I looked and looked for that in the old-fashioned songbook, and actually I found it, I think the roots of that song in the Mississippi area. I think it's an old blues song. Bessie Smith used to sing it. I think highly likely that I got to the Okefenokee Swamp by a lot of the black railroad track layers and so on, the people who cleared some of the islands in the swamp to log it. And that feel, that touch, that taste, that corner of the world that those folks brought to southeast Georgia would end up getting mixed with this holler and so on, which was an Appalachian thing. And I think I've got a good mind that that is some of the roots and the beginnings of what would be called Southern rock, at least the stuff that came out of Northeast Florida. In my opinion, a lot of those groups, Leonard Skinner and so on, have a very funky feel to their leads. They're not just Appalachian bluegrass style leads that are played on electric guitars. They sound like they might have that influence of the folks from Mississippi, but that's just a guess at this point. But that was called Ain't Nobody's Business But Mine from the Library of Congress collection. This is, we pull from so much music, and somebody asked me, a journalist asked me, what are you guys really? How do you describe your music? And I never quite put it like this, but I think what we are is we're jazz musicians who play folk music on rock and roll instruments. And so, you know, we think in terms, our relationship to music is jazz oriented. We all studied jazz, but we, for one reason or another, we kind of gave up jazz as a career pursuit. But it all, at the end of the day, there's a bluesy underpinning to it that we don't necessarily intend, but just happens. So this is one that kind of has a little bit of a jazzy feel to it, and this is one of our favorite ones to play, or at least certainly mine, and it's from the Squeal record. It's an instrumental called Sup Choppy. What you just witnessed is three musicians getting their butt kicked by a piece of music. I think we all blew tires on that one.
We didn't know.
Limping along with this one.
Limping along. Oh my gosh, but that was fun though. We basically had it. I want a little demonstrate. When I was young, I really didn't. I didn't like acoustic music too much, and I just thought acoustic guitars were kind of sissified, you know. But it's an absurd thought, in at least in retrospect. But there are two songs that kind of changed my opinion about acoustic guitars forever, and one was on a Led Zeppelin album, and one was on an Allman Brothers album. And we're going to do a little short medley of both of these right now. Now, the Led Zeppelin one was an acoustic song on the first Led Zeppelin record, and it was actually an Irish folk song called Black Waterside, and it was a traditional Irish song that was played in the 60s a lot, and it was kind of it was made famous, if you will, in the folk world by Bert Janetz. Is it Jantz? Bert Jantz? And I'm not going to do his version of it, but sadly, Jimmy Page he claimed credit for having written this song, and but I guess in all reality it was an old traditional song, an Irish song, but this fella Bert Jantz really kind of in a certain way had a song taken from him, you know. But because if you listen to his version and you listen to Jimmy Page's, it's almost note for note, but Jimmy didn't sing it. But anyway, this was one of the songs that when I heard it as a kid, I was just like, oh my gosh, the acoustic guitar is now cool. You know, it is now cool because Jimmy Page played it. Whoops, it's not in tune. Well, it's in tune, but not the right tune. And I'm going to turn it down. Better. get these songs just given to you by the situation. Before, there was a time, 10 years, yeah, we played, it was 15 years ago that I think we played. No, maybe 10 years ago. In between the time that we had with Matt, we put the band together with, our engineer was on bass, and he did a short tour with us of Spain. And it was good. Jim DeVito's a fantastic recording engineer and good bass player, and he said, Walt, you shouldn't have me in the band. I can't do what Matt can do. And Matt had left, and but we went on without him for a while. We toured Spain. Now, Spain was wonderful. We got treated like rock stars over there, and from club to club to club. I have a good ear for language, and I speak French, but I don't do too well with Spanish. I just never tried too much. But I kept hearing the men in the clubs talk about Beeks Baparoop. Beeks Baparoop. I kept hearing that pattern over and over again. And finally, from town to town, Beeks Baparoop. And finally, I asked our road manager, what the hell why am I hearing Beeks Baparoop all the time? He goes, well, you have it in the United States. I said, we have nothing of the sort called Beeks Baparoop. So, and then he just ignored me for a while. He was used to doing that. That was a survival skill of his, I guess. And then we got to the next town. I think we must have been in Bilbao or somewhere. And I finally said, I've had enough. Will you please, if you say we have this Beeks Baparoop, can you write it out on a napkin or something for me? And he wrote it out, and it's spelled Vicks Vapor Rub. Beeks Baparoop is the way it sort of sounds if you're Spanish. Beeks Baparoop. And I said, all right, that's all well and good. We do have it, but why in the hell are people talking about it in the clubs? And come to find out, it must be, it was told to us, and is, you know, I can't say this from experience. It was explained to me that this makes the male apparatus seem more robust if you put Beeks Baparoop on it, apparently. And so that's why the fellas were, yeah, exactly. Oh, so.
What kind of club were you playing?
Yeah, it was a bullfight or something. But of course that could be, never mind. Yeah, easy there. So I left it at that until I got back to the States. And I remember one time we played a festival. I started working on a song immediately. And we played a festival in the town of Leon. And it was a big outdoor thing. And I just thought, I'm going to try this. We were playing a song. And in the middle of one of our regular songs, I just got the audience to shout out Beeks Baparoop. So we were going, Beeks Baparoop. And I thought, oh my God, they love singing Beeks Baparoop in Spain. So I thought the next time we go to Spain, we're going to be playing in the bullfight arenas. You know, we're going to be that big if we can release this song. And I don't think this song has been ever properly released, probably because we didn't go over there with you and play. But if we ever do, we are going to be famous. So can we play the song for you called Beeks Baparoop? Okay. Going to Spain to celebrate the Cinco de Mayo. To Holy Toledo, I'm gonna tell him about the one in Ohio. When the bills fail, I'm gonna yell out, yippee-yi-yo. I practiced my tenses and learned a little Castellano. But according to census, they don't speak Mexicano. They like kings and princes and tinctures Americano. They like the Beeks big spop-a-rooba little bottle with a big to-do plastic. It's a big see-through economy. It'll save you. You don't need a doctor to write you a notice. It's a over-the-counter kind of rigor mortis. Beaks, beaks, bop-a-rooba, little beaks. So that was the chorus, and everybody gave it a listen. And pretty senores, I hate to be an imposition, but can you beat Spopperoo like you do for an old musician? Whoa! And do the beats, beats, Spopperoo, a little bottle with a big to-do plastic. It's a blue see-through economy. You don't need a doctor to write you a notice. It's a over-the-counter kind of rigor mortis. Beats, beaks, Spopperoo, a little beaks. Beaks, Spopperoo, beaks, Spopperoo, beaks, Spopperoo, beaks, Spopper, beaks, Spopperoo, beaks, Spopperoo, beaks. Sing it! Beaks, Spopperoo, beaks, Spopperoo, beaks, Spopper, beaks, Spopperoo, beaks, Spopper. For the solo, courtesy of years of rehearsal. You wouldn't know though, you're staring at a TV commercial. But can you do what would badly be due too personal? And do the beats, beats, Spopperoo, a little bottle with a big to-do plastic. It's a blue see-through economy. It'll save you. You don't need a doctor to write you a notice. It's a over-the-counter kind of rigor mortis. Beaks, beaks, Spopperoo, a little beaks. Beaks, Spopperoo, a little beaks. Beaks, Spopperoo, beaks, beaks, Spopperoo. Oh!
I've written a lot of serious songs, but that's the most absurd song I've ever written. And we've never had the pleasure of playing it over there, so I just can't wait to get a whole room of people going, Beaks, Spopperoo, Beaks, Spopperoo. I'll pay for the plane tickets just to see that happen. I just can't wait. But Papa Ray, why don't you come up and join us one more time here? Big hand. Beaks, Spopperoo. We should be famous for that song in Spain.
I'll take it.
We can only hope. Woo! Well, anyway, getting back to the States here. My mother used to take me through downtown Jacksonville, and I'd see this old man on his front porch playing a Sears Silvertone guitar through a Montgomery Ward's amplifier. And he sounded like a full choir. He sounded like a drummer. He sounded like an organ player. All in one guy with just an electric guitar. I got up the courage to ask him how he got that sound, and he was one of these people that explained everything in spiritual terms. And he said, "It's quite simple, son. I can't play the guitar without the Jesus tone."
can't play the guitar without Jesus' tone. I don't even want to bother strapping it on without the Jesus tone. I might as well stay home. Well, my preacher got a pulpit and a microphone. I can't play the guitar without Jesus' tone. I can't make no sense without the Jesus tongue. People keep on asking me what country I'm from without the Jesus tongue. People call me dumb. I'm gonna lose my occupation to a much better man who's got the Jesus tongue. Come on! If you wanna play the guitar with the Jesus tone, plug into an amplifier the Savior condones. You'll get the Jesus tone with everyone. I say to hell with the devil and the black cat bone. I can't play the guitar without Jesus. Stand up next to a mountain and chop it down with the edge of my head. Well, I'd stand up next to a mountain and chop it down with the edge of my head. Well, I think I'll make an island. I might even raise a little sand. Well, I'm a good child, Lord, Papa Ray, everybody. KDHX's Soul Selector, host. All right, so we're going to do one more. It's a medley of a couple of Southern songs. This isn't exactly folk music, and it would be sort of if we played it on acoustic instruments. But these are songs that were written by Southern musicians. One of them was two guys from Texas, very, very famous. Very white hair, and not ZZ Top. And then we're going to take you from Texas to Macon, Georgia, and here we go. Have you had a good time tonight? Thank you. Just to keep everybody on their toes, we played for a historical society one time, and we introduced this as a Civil War song. So let's see how long we are. So. That's hard to play. On the drums, Jagoda, everybody. That's his last name, too, by the way, everybody. Matt Lindsey, Matthew Lindsey on the bass.
Walter Parks.
Thanks so
hollering,
much.
Picking, singing, talking smack.
Please sign the email list, pick up a CD. Thanks so much to the Focal Point. If you got a few extra dollars, put it in the Focal Point collection pit there. And thanks so much to Eric again for the sound.
Yeah.
Fantastic job. Okay, we'll see you again sometime. And have a good fall, everybody, and happy holidays. Thank you so much.